So the question basically is, why am I on the streets? I could say that it was one event that happened, which would be the officer who sexually assaulted me somewhere else, and I had to file charges and move away. I didn't really have anywhere else to go, so I ended up in Pueblo, which is where I'm from. And Pueblo has no resources. None. What little they have is atrocious. And so I came to the nearest larger city that had services. That's why I'm in Springs. Looking back on it with an honest, being rigorously honest, I see that it wasn't one event. It was, I've been struggling to stay off the streets for probably 20 years. I've always been that close to being on the streets. And eventually it happened to where I could no longer keep my head above water, and I ended up out here. Once I hit the streets, and I've said this before, by the time you get out here, you've lost all hope. Fighting for something, even for yourself, it's almost impossible by the time you hit the streets, because you've tried everything else. You've fought as hard as you can, and you feel like you've lost the war. And I think that's the reason that most people, by the time they hit the streets, just kind of give up. Because you've already done all your fighting. By the time you get here, you're exhausted. And this life is very exhausting. I was born with gastroschisis, which is a condition where I was born with my intestines on the outside of my stomach. And I've had stomach problems my entire life. Eating has always been a challenge. I have to smoke it in order to have a decent appetite to maintain my weight. And considering how much I walk out here, I walk anywhere between 3 and 10 miles a day. The calories I burn is, I have to have something to jumpstart my appetite and digestive tract. Replaces 9 medications for me. Nausea, arthritis medicine, pain medicine, muscle spasms. Yeah, it replaces 9 medicines. So I can have a much more productive life. I can be a much better member of society. When I wake up first thing in the morning, I always kind of have a few minutes to medicate and meditate, both. I usually pick up trash in the morning. I go and I check on certain people. I go and I check on my puppy. Well, then I have to get ready for my day, so that I have to get dressed. I have to pull out of my tent whatever I need for the day. Then I have to put my tent down, roll it up, cover it up with a tarp, tie it up so that I can tell if somebody's been in my stuff. I usually spend the morning helping people. Every day is different. It's never the same. It's never boring. Okay, so this is one of the spots that we as homeless people come because, where the fuck are we supposed to go? The city has decided that we are not worthy of using their bathrooms. They have it locked. When I started coming here a year ago, there was no gate on this front here. The doors themselves were locked, but you could still get to the water fountain. And they couldn't have that, so they put up an actual gate now. We have porta potties that we're allowed to use that are absolutely disgusting. The homeless are not welcome here in the city of Colorado Springs, in our opinion, or at least in my opinion, and we damn sure aren't good enough to use their bathrooms. So this is the Marion House. They serve lunch from 10:30 to 1, Monday through Saturday, breakfast at 8:45 to 10. I usually don't eat here, although most of the indigent population does. I come here because if I can't see a doctor at Peak Vista, they do have a free doctor here that I can go see. I can also go over here and get clothes if they have it in size. I prefer to come here. The people here tend to be more caring, more compassionate, and more understanding. So one of the great things that I recently found out about is this place here called Seeds. It's a community cafe, and the great thing about it is there's no time limit. I don't get preached at just to get a meal, and it feels like a real restaurant. So I can order off the menu directly, whereas normally I just get whatever I happen to be forced to eat. And my religion, I'm Rasta, so I can't eat certain things. And if I go to the soup kitchen, or not the soup kitchen, SRM, they have adamantly refused to give me kosher meals for quite some time. And now I know I have a choice, and that's just a wonderful choice option for me. So the way this works is you can either donate what you can give, or you can donate an hour of your time, or if you can't do either of those, they're not going to let you go hungry. And I think that's just a wonderful, wonderful thing, because it gives you back some dignity. You no longer feel like you're Oliver begging for some more. And that's how I usually feel, and it gives me back some of my humanity. I became homeless in Colorado Springs May 26th of 2015. I stayed sober for quite some time, even tried to start a support group here, and just floundered. I couldn't do it all on my own. I didn't have enough help. Desperately tried to stay sober. I had 4 or 5 months sober before I relapsed. And it's incredibly hard to stay sober out here. And that's a big part of my story, because here I am coming up on Sunday on 6 months sober, and I'm still out here. It's a big part of what's wrong out here. People want to blame so many different social issues. The truth of the matter is, if most of these people had even a small support system from the community, they wouldn't feel so lost and hopeless, which is the main reason most people turn to drugs and alcohol anyway. At some point, you have to stop and realize that we're human. We have to go somewhere. And unless we are willing to denigrate into a society that is ready to lock people up and form prison camps just because we can't afford a place to live, unless we're ready to go to that level, we need to become a compassionate society and learn how to help, not hurt. I keep coming back to that Thomas More quote, "For if you suffer your people to be ill-educated and their manners corrupted from their infancy, and then punish them for the crimes to which their first education disposed them, what else is to be concluded of this but that you first make these and then punish them?" That's really, in a nutshell, how I feel about it.